Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the power rankings for the Guardian division of the Frost Battle League Season 12. Today I'm joined by Chikar and Blue Fusion.
I'm Jakar, how's it going?
And this is Blue.
Oh, and I'm also Manu. I didn't introduce myself.
The people know.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
So the rankings were done by my two friends here. If you disagree, you should insult them in the Discord server. I have nothing to do with them. That's all I want to say. So let's get right into things. At number 16, we have Kanto Yellow, our good friend with the Terrazarud. So why is he last?
He's last. Go on.
So I suppose I'll start us off. The issue I have with the team is I feel like his two Terra captains more or less fill the same role, if that makes sense. They're both, for the most part, pet up sweepers. So I feel like prepping with this team, you can kind of just run the same type of prep for either mon. I also think we have Excadrill without sand, which I think is kind of whatever. The hazards are super poor on this team, and it just feels like you went into ChatGPT and said, "Can you generate me 9 mons?" And then this was the result.
Yeah, I mean the top 3 are like the same fucking guys. And Toxapex. I don't know why Toxapex
is literally, he has drafted Toxapex every single season he's played here. I think he just really likes them on.
Okay, he likes the guy.
Fair enough.
Play.
Fair enough.
What I will say about the team, like obviously the Zarud and the Crossmas is a pretty weird pairing, but like one thing I noticed instantly is that it's really slow, and then like the mon quality is pretty good. Like I think every mon on the team is like good aside from Toxapex, but I just feel like they don't really work well together at all. Like, but the hazards are really bad. Your spinner is Excadrill, which is okay, but it doesn't really love spinning all that much. I do like Sandless Drill though. I use it in MLP and it did well for me. I feel like.
I think Sandless Drill is fine because I mean you're not committing the points to get the T-Tar as well, so it's fine. But I think the speed is probably the main issue because you don't want to run max speed on Zarud, and you don't really want to run it on Palafin.
Yeah.
And your only speed control then is like Jet Punch.
Yeah, or
which
webs.
Is kind of
you
crunch.
Have webs,
or
you don't have a spin blocker,
webs, I guess, but
you can have like Terra Ghosts or something. I don't know if you want to keep them up.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that Necrozma is Terra because it's your only like mon that actually likes running rocks. So it's like you could probably maybe like I don't know Terra the Florges or the Drill, but even then Drill is kind of weird without sand. And then you have like a lot of points left to like maybe upgrade the team a little bit, because I don't really think Necrozma is gonna run setup here all that often, unless you're like, okay, I don't need hazards, I'll just run no hazards every single week. Sure, more power to you, but that is what I think when I look at the team.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot to add to that. There's a lot of, I think as you said, there's a lot of good Pokemon here, and there's a lot of bulk, which is nice. I'm sure there are ways to win because you do have Terrazarud, and I'm sure, you can cook up a set, but I don't. I think it's just kind of randomly put quote unquote good Pokemon together.
I think though, because your steel is Excadrill, I think you should have probably drafted a secondary steel, because like if you're looking at the type chart, Excadrill is your main resist to a lot of things. Like your normal resist is obviously just Excadrill, your flying resist is Excadrill, and then the fucking electric, but that's not coming. Like it's also your only, what is it, fairy resist together with Toxapex, I guess. Like it's a lot of things that Excadrill has to really do for the team, which might be a little annoying at times. So
this is true.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it.
No, not me really. It's kind of it's fine, but it's a bit weird.
I mean, if this is the worst team, I feel like it's like it's
Yeah,
okay
it's-
for a team. So like I think
Exactly.
it's gonna be decent, but you know.
Shall we move on?
Yeah. Okay. At number 15 we have Mansip. Where is he?
Right at the start.
First one, first pick.
Mm-hmm.
No, he has Raging Bolt and Ogrepon.
What? I think they're fine terrors together. I don't know how often you're terroring Tealpon here, but it's nice as speed control. I just find it a little bit weird because you got Talonflame as well as speed control. And I don't. It's just weird to me.
I never like when you draft something like Raging Bull, which increases its star price by like 10 points or something. I never like drafting another mon like Ogrepon that also has a lot of price increase, because you can really see like after that the mon quality is super low.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it reaches the budget for some reason.
Petra run is
kinda
like
weird.
okay, Manaphy is not good. I think Talonflame is 10 points, Donphan is 11 points. Like all of these mons are just like really mid. And even Ogrepon without Terra is just really mid, so it feels like you have Raging Bull and then a low tier team to me.
Yeah, that was a point that I had in my notes, is that the 2 tier captains are strong, but they waste like half the budget, and then aside from probably every month after round 3 is just super underwhelming. I will say this team does have Telet Hazards and Petra for spin block, which is kind of nice.
Well, I don't think the hazards are good.
No, I think the hazards are.
Ortorm and Donphan are bad hazard setters, and Ogrepon is like okay as a spiker, but yeah.
Ogerpon's a decent spiker, but I don't know again why it's Terra if your primary role for it is spiker with Terra Raging Bolt in the back as well. It's just a weird pick.
Ortorm is really bad. I really don't think that mon should be drafted like ever. And yeah, if it's your main hazard setter, because Donphan is already a spinner here, it's gonna be hard to like. Donphan doesn't get a lot of turns in most games, so if it has to click rocks, it has to click rapid spin, then it's just not gonna do anything else every single game, which is fine, but you know, that's limiting it a lot.
I don't really know how you switch in on a specs anything.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you can run like AV Hat or Een or some shit.
AV Hat is like your only thing, right?
Or
But
Scrafty. Scrafty is a good AV user as well, but that's about it.
true, but it feels bad, especially if you're running like a specs Moonblast.
Yeah.
That's just gonna shred this team.
I would be very scared of ice types if I were you, because your resist is Manaphy and Ortworm, so like any good freeze dry mon like Bundle or Clear and just completely shred the team.
For sure.
Yeah, it's a really odd team. I wonder if I don't even know what you would do here. I wonder if you could fit something, because Sneasler's not drafted, but then you have Pecharon.
I mean,
I don't really know what you...
Raging Bolt Sneasler is a very good like tried and true core, but it's gonna be hard to like fit on the team, I think, without completely changing everything. But I do think the Sneasler edition would be nice here if you can somehow do it. Also, you literally cannot beat Spectre ever. Your darkest crafty which is super rating, so good luck with that.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
I think that's about all I want to say about this one.
Agreed.
Okay, at number 14 we have Regulus Corneas. Spectre, we were just talking about him.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, I can see why it's here. I don't think the Spectre is supported very well at all. And then there's a random Tyranitar on
Tyranitar. It's just really weird, right? I looked at it and the top 3 I kind of like.
Zapdos works, and I like this Garm as well later on. But aside from that, like I prefer getting like a fighting type that can actually come in on normals pretty safely and like punish them, because you can't really switch in on your Shifu on a body slam or something like that, because then you risk
No.
getting paralyzed. So it's kind of weird.
It is really weird. I don't really know.
This is like what a person that like this is just a Spectre draft that someone drafts when you haven't seen the Wagon Fruit video.
Well, I haven't seen the Wagon Fruit video.
It's a good video.
So maybe this is what I would draft.
You should watch it.
I'll have to give it a look. I don't really know what to say about this team because I don't really know what it does. It's just really weird because you have, like, I guess you have decent pivots, and I like having an extra ghost with Spectre, but I think Sableye is not an extra ghost for Spectre, really.
Sableye, I mean, it's a bad spin blocker, but it's like okay in the sense that, like, let's say you switch it in on Tusk, you at least block the spin and then force it out because it risks getting burned if it stays in. So it works in that sense, but it's not great.
Yeah, it's just weird.
I personally, kind of like the top 3 here, but then I feel like we just went completely off the rails.
Yeah, I mean, I
After
understand why the Cyclozar is here. Like, I understand why a lot of the mons are here, aside from like the the Gastrodon and the Tyranitar. I don't really know why he took those. Especially, like, I guess maybe he wanted Hazards, but then he took Scarm 2 rounds later, which is just better, so I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Also, I think you get 6-0'd by Kyurem, potentially. It's possible. Ice types basically just shred you.
I mean, it depends on the set, because if it's Dragon Dance, it kind of loses the Scarm. If it's special, it has trouble with Kyurems. I mean Tyranitar and Fez. So I think you have options.
You probably don't get 6-0'd, but it's tough. It's tough.
It's annoying, yeah, because the Ice Resist is just a Urshifu, so it can realistically just run like Specs Ice Beam and then like you're fucked. But I see where you're coming from.
That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, same. Moving on to number 13, we have Food. Tornado's Gouging. I mean, I think that.
Yeah, the Torn Gouging team.
Yeah, I see what went wrong here. I think the top 5 is really nice, but after that, you just
it's just like
the most random shit. So
yeah,
what do you have to say about this?
I don't know why the bottom 5 is there, or whatever, bottom 6. The speed tiers are kind of shit because Mien's fine, but I don't really know what it's doing for the team other than filling a speed tier.
Yeah, I think Mien was just picked up purely for the speed tier, but then that makes no sense picking up the Raichu.
What, Raichu?
Raichu?
There's a
Raichu.
There's not a Raichu on the team.
There's no Raichu on this team, buddy.
What was I looking at?
I don't know.
Disregard that comment.
He's hallucinating.
I do think Mienshao is decent here because it's like the only viable Scarfer. I don't really think Hoopa is that good of a Scarfer. So I like that it's on the team. I just don't really love the way the team is like structured after.
Fortress is just like a spinner. Oh, I need a spinner. Here's Fortress. Don't even know what to say about the bottom 3. I kind of like Ursaring, I guess.
Ursaring's a good Spectre check, but it doesn't really do much else other than that.
And yeah, Hooper.
I don't know.
I don't understand Hooper.
The biggest question to me is why the Hoopa is here. Like, what was it drafted for? I'm failing to see that, because like you can see like Fortress, I want Spin. Mienshao, I want the Scarfer. Ursaring, I want my Spectre check. Arbok is the poison. The Flareon is just whatever, I guess. But what's the Hoopa for?
I guess it's like a special breaker for Torn, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it's just for immediate offense, I guess. To function as a breaker.
I wouldn't terror it then, though, right?
I mean, it's a decent secondary. I don't think it increases that much in price. It's like maybe 2 ship points, probably like 3.
It's probably fine then.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I don't know. It's just it's fine. It's like a decent team because the top 5 I really like, but I don't know where. I guess you break with Hooper and you like revenge stuff with Mien and you try and win the game with Torn.
I mean,
and chip stuff down with your other top 5, like the next 4. But
I'm looking at the type chart now and I'm seeing a lot of flaws because gouging is your only fire resist along with Flareon, but I'm counting Flareon.
no.
Empoleon is the only flying resist. Mienshao is the dark resist, which is very shit.
Oh, that's the only dark resist.
Yeah.
That's pretty shit.
Yep. So I think the other types are like fine, but those 3 are like are going to be really tough for you to switch like this. What do you do against Chi-Yu, man? It just loads up Dark Pulsing and claims a kill every single time. Doesn't even have to click anything else ever because your Dark Resist Mienshao, so it can just run like Scarf Dark Pulse and be fine.
Pretty tough.
Yeah, I think your hazards are good, your spinner is whatever. I think like the utility on this team is solid. I wish there was an Encore Mon maybe, but that's about it. I just think the Mons you drafted after the top 5 are weird. Maybe you can do a better job at like restructuring the team because it's okay, but it can be better, is what I would say.
Yeah, I think that's been the case for all of them so far. Is that they're not like unusably bad.
I don't think I've seen a terrible team yet. They're just not amazing so far.
Yeah.
Alright, then let's move on to number 12, which is Chef the Go. So how do we go from Dragapult Zarude to this?
Yeah.
So, to preface, me and Chef have been talking, and the one mon he really wanted to try was Terra Como. So he just decided to pick kind of whatever, just as long as he hit that mon on the team at some point. The one thing I think is a bit weird, I think it works in a sense, but I think we already know what Terra captains we're going with. I think the round one Gren is kind of weird. I think it works as a fast mon here, but
I'm gonna quickly look at like the mons picked before and after Gren, because
I think
like after Gren there was an Annihilate, there was a Zarude. I wouldn't get Zarude if I want to get Terracomo. Garchomp, Wellspring, yeah, I think the Gren pick makes sense. The only viable round 1 pick he could have maybe gotten is Deoxys, but I think Gren is just better, so I won't hate on him for that.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Chef, fair enough. I do think the mon quality on the team is good. I think every single mon on this team is good and draftable. The worst one is probably like Bramblegast and Lantern. All the other ones are fine. But the Bramblegast was not taken round 4.
Thank God. Round 6 I think is a fine time to get Bramblegast.
One thing I do notice though is that speed is very limited because Screamtail, obviously as good as the speed stat is, can't revenge things, so you're gonna be very limited in revenging things with just Greninja and then maybe like Scizor if it's like
well, he has Scizor.
Yeah, because those 2 are like all you have to revenge things pretty consistently. Thunderous isn't really fast enough to call it a consistent revenger. So I think your Gren is going to be like Protean more often than not, which is kind of unfortunate unless you don't care about wasting your Battle Bond early. That's fine, I suppose. But it's going to be very difficult to like plan end games with Gren for this team, I feel, which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
It is tricky. I guess that's maybe why it's not Terra.
Could be.
So that kind of makes sense, but I don't really.
Utility-wise,
Yeah.
Utility is really good though. You have so many hazards. You have rapid spin, defog, a bunch of options. Like, you have a lot of pivots. Knock. You have Encore, one of the best Encore users in the game in Screamtail. So I like it. I think the team has potential. I don't think this team is bad at all. It's just a little underwhelming.
Yeah, I agree. I guess this is just kind of the issue when you're focused around getting a sort of mid-tier Terra guy as like the guy you want. So, yeah, it's hard to build then.
We have a little friend that did the same thing. It didn't work out too well for him.
But I think it's fine, like you say. And I think there's a lot of good ways to win here.
Well, for sure. It's
even if
he'll win.
Yeah.
Go. I think that's about covers it. So let's move on to number 11, Nikki. This team I don't like that much. I don't think the mon quality is that great here.
No, it really drops off after Thunderous, and even Thunderous is a little bit.
Yeah,
Thunderous is pretty good.
Dragalchi and Araquanid are fine. I like Halucha. I just feel like they were the team in itself. Like, where is the round 1 guy? The best mon on the team is Quackleval. That's not great.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Like I don't like Nikki. Why did you draft Eric Quackleval? Like, you could have gotten that guy round 2 easily, and then like get me out. Like, I think if you move all the mons you drafted to the right, and then add a top tier guy, you could have gotten the exact same team, literally. It's just missing a top tier, which really makes it underwhelming. I wouldn't be scared if I was prepping for this. Also, Mew is your only spiker, which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
It is, I think, to speak positively for a moment, shockingly, I think that there's a lot of good potential to play like a bulkier offense style here, with Thunderous being an annoying bastard to, and Araquanid with like webs and para support. I do think that getting another spiker would help that a lot though. Because although with the ghost being Chandelier, it's kind of tough. Yeah.
I guess you can like Terra Ghost Mew and like run it as a little bit fat. I guess that works, but
you can, but then you really don't have a round 1 mon.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I feel like for a team like this, I think Terra Quaquaval probably wants to Terra probably 7 times out of 8 or something like that. Especially with Mew being the only spiker here. I don't know if you want to have the extra points used for Terra on that when he'll be weak. It'll just click spikes or hazards or something.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. He Terra it's probably gonna run sweeper stats more often than not. It's just a weird team. I think
it just speaks to the team structure being odd, right? Because when you only have that as the spiker, and you're not really wanting to run spikes on it ever. I mean, your rocks is basically Crocodile.
Even the Rillaboom feels really out of place, because Dragon Dance Mew loves Earthquake, Crocodile likes Earthquake, obviously. Like, I just feel like you were like, I'll get Halucha. Really I'm gonna get Halucha as my speed, so I'm gonna take Rillaboom now. Like, what? I don't really understand the pick, but I guess more power to you. I wouldn't like having this team, but I hope it works out for you. You always drop weird shit.
Yeah, it is weird.
Anything else to add, my friends?
So
I will say, I do think I like this team a bit more than you guys do. I think it is stupid organized. I think that point is valid. But I kind of rank on vibes just a little bit. I think it's a pretty vibey team.
I think that you like the Terra Mew. You like the Terra Quack. That's what I'm picking up from Blue Fusion.
I'm actually not huge on Terra Mew here, just because I think you want to win games with Terra Quack.
But I also
I don't know. It's just
I don't think the Quackable is actually very well supported here because like you're not really you don't really have great answers to grass types. You don't really have great answers to dragon types. So like against bulky waters, you're fine, you guys. You have Rillaboom and Dundee, but the others are going to be really annoying for you to actually kill. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
even fairies, like your fairy is your poison is Dragalge and your steel is Bronzong, so that's not amazing.
Very fair criticism.
It's gonna be funny to see how this one goes.
Yeah. Should we keep it moving?
Yes, sir. At
I
number 10,
agree.
we have Mr. Stark. Another Flygon fan. Valid.
Colchester Flygons, my condolences. Good lord, not
What's
Colchester. Oh, it's just a, pardon my French, a shithole.
Poor guy, man. I think I like the first 5. I think are really good.
Yeah.
6 actually. Volleyball.
Yeah.
No, I respect Gallade because of Wagon, but I don't really think anything drafted after Umbreon is very good.
Yeah, I think the last, let me see, 5, maybe subtracting the Swalot from that, just seems pretty out of place here.
Oh, the speed gap between Bundle and Am is actually huge. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
One thing to point out, and I'm not huge on myself, is I think Chomp is forced to function as a hazard bot here, which I really don't like from a round 1 pick. Especially when I feel like you want to use it offensively on a team like this.
I agree, but I also think that he's just kind of planning to not really bring hazards a lot because his round 1 is Chomp, and he doesn't have many other hazards, and he has Corv.
Yeah,
his only removal.
He's very lacking, but I don't mind the Corv removal because the hazards aren't great. Like there will 100% be weeks where he just doesn't bring hazards because he's running like a skill sort SD Chomp.
Yeah.
And in games like that, it's fine to run default Corv. I don't mind it that much. I think everything else utility-wise is very good. There's a lot of Encore, there's a lot of Taunt. Pivots are kind of shit, I suppose, but what can you do, right?
I mean, pivots are okay. You got Belly Bolt, Corv, Bundle.
Corv, yeah.
I mean, I guess his pivots are at least bringable. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess the low tiers don't really have to pivot all that much. I'm interested. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Gallade will do. I don't think it was drafted in any other division. I haven't seen it yet, at least, and I've done like already 5 videos, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, it's a cool mon. I think I've used it in low tier before, and it was cool in low tier. I don't know how it's gonna do with the big boys, but on paper, it breaks stuff very well. Guy has a lot of fucking damage. Be cool to see.
I do like the speed is obviously an issue because I think you have good Scarfers. Enam and Arcanine are really good Scarfers, so in that sense it's fine. But it does kind of limit you from running like setup Enams quite a bit because I do think Enam is going to be forced into Scarf more often than you'd like, which is a bit unfortunate. But it should be okay. Bundle is good. It's very good speed control. I like that. I think this team is actually pretty good.
I think it's a decent team. I think that one of my main issues with the speed tiers is it doesn't feel like you can ever threaten Adamant, Arcanine, or Gallade as much. Which is maybe not an issue. It's a nitpick. It's a nitpick, but
I think it should be fine.
But it is probably fine. It just something I noticed. A little nit to pick.
looking at the type chart, I don't really see anything wrong with it either. So that's.
No, the type chart is totally fine.
I guess
yeah.
the water resist kind of suck. It's just bundle and go. It might be a little bit annoying, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, every team has flaws. I think these ones are definitely workable, so you should be okay. Let's move on to number 9 then. Big Master, the go.
Big Master.
Sudowoodo's
He has the fakest speed tiers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I guess Whimsicott's not that fake. I don't know. I don't like the gap between Weavile and Chi-Yu, especially if Chi-Yu is gonna run Scarf.
I mean, there is a Galvantula still, but yeah, I see your point.
It's a little bit. I don't like it that much. But I do like the defenses, the bulk on this team are really cool. I really like Prim and Arch together.
Yeah.
I just wish there was a little bit more hazard game to go along with that, so that when people are switching out to deal with that, they're punished for it more.
That's fair. Yeah, the rocker is or Chaladon and the spiker is Sudowoodo, so that's never coming.
Yeah.
I just don't like. You see that a lot, like in these teams, like. Great Tusk is not something I would pair Slowking with. Like these round 2 Slowking picks, I never understand them. Like I feel like that's always something that like balanced players do because they really like Jeeking, and then they're like, oh, I'll just get it round 2 because I don't want it to get sniped. I just never understood it. Like because with Great Tusk, I think you should be prioritizing your speed a lot more than that pivot. Because now your speed is like, as Chikara said, Weavile, which isn't bad, but then anything else that has a speed stat is pretty shit. Like Whimsicott is not a Revenger, Galvantula is not a Revenger, it's a lead, I guess, at best. And then aside from that, you're limited to Scarf Chi-Yu for revenging, so those two are like the only real Revengers you have, which is a bit unfortunate.
One thing I do like about having Slowking on this team is it kind of gives free access to Chi-Yu, which I think is kind of cool. Just as a means to have it come in for free because it never wants to switch in on it.
Because usually
that is cool.
Yeah, usually when you go into Jeeking check, you go into like a dark or a steel, so that's fair actually.
I will say as well, you kind of get 6-0'd by EQ.
Oh yeah, the only resist is Whimsical.
It's pretty rough.
One thing.
The fairy resist is also Jeeking. That's a bit unfortunate. It's a good one, but it's still limiting it a bit.
The only one, yeah.
One thing I have, which can be a bit nitpicky, is I think Terra Weavile is a bit weird.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would have Terra Tusk.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, Terra Tusk and then get rid of any of the shitters that you don't need.
I think I would really much prefer Terra Tusk on this team because Chi-Yu is not one of those mons that like needs Terra to function. Like, and Tusk isn't either, so they're viable as like a captain duo because they don't hog it. While Weavile is just like, I've used that guy before, Terra Weavile, and I just dropped Terra on it after like 3 weeks because it's just not good on it. I would consider for sure changing the Tusk. I think you should be able to afford it. I don't think, maybe it's like 1 point more expensive than Weavile, and then you can just drop the Sudowoodo and your team will still be fine. Maybe get a good spiker and all that stuff, fix your ground weakness, and this team would be a lot better.
For sure. Shall we move on?
Yep. Number 8 we have Ghost.
Ghost.
Where is he? There he is.
Yeah. I really like this team.
Terrapago is your Shifu, yeah, I kind of see.
I think it's alright. I think it's
okay, yeah.
I think it's very random.
It just.
I don't think it's random. I think that Terrapagos and Terra Shifu make a lot of sense together.
Oh yeah,
I think
sure.
round 3 Tink is a bit
like,
weird.
Yeah.
And Terramamo is a little bit weird.
Yeah, I'm a huge proponent of these first two together. It's just after that, I just feel like the team, it's in my eyes, it just looks kind of random. Like I see why the mons are here, but it's just, I don't know. Seems
You got your util guy and Tink. You got your bulky guys, Slowking and Wheezing. Serb's a good screamer. Riku's speed control, Mamo as well with like Ice Shard.
one thing I will say is that I think the team might be better off if I think if the Raikou was Terra and not the Mamoswine.
Maybe. I just think the mon quality is very bad on the team. Like I think the top 3 is good. I think Slowking is very bad in this generation. I think Raikou is bad without Terra. Weezing is okay. I don't like Mamo, especially if it's your only ground. Surf is just really bad without Terra, and Noivern is bad as well. So you have, in my opinion, 4 good mons, which isn't amazing. And also, I think Terrapagos, as much as it hates ghosts, which Urshifu is good for that obviously, it also hates steals. So I would have liked to have seen this good spiker on the team, which you don't have. Because even Tink and like Slowking and stuff, they also Serp as well, they don't like steals. Noivern, Weezing. Steals, I mean the entire team doesn't like steals aside from your Mamo and your Shifu, so spikes would be really nice. Because you don't have a lot of pivots you don't have a lot of pivots, I think, to actually get your guys in. You have like 4 maybe, but I don't think Noivern's coming every week. I don't think Raiku's coming every week either, so.
One thing it might be just kind of weird Blue Fusion opinion, but I feel like the offensive power on the higher tiers is, and the higher speed tiers is a bit lacking.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
As I said, Noivern isn't good, and Raikou is okay, but it kind of needs Terra to be threatening or setup. Like Calm Mind Raikou is a good set, but I don't really think normal Raikou is that good. The main breaking power on the team comes from the physical side, with Shifu and Mamo. Everything on the special side relies on setup, and then Superior obviously can be good, but it needs to be like at +3 to like actually do decent damage.
Yeah.
I mean, Surf can probably be replaced on this, right? I don't see what Surf specifically offers on this team.
I don't know either, maybe like Lair, but it already has 2 really good T-Wave users, so it's not necessary. Yeah, I think this is just a case of where you drafted a lot of mons too early, and then I think all the mons are bringable, but I don't think they necessarily should be. Like I think you could improve some of your mons. Like I think some mons could have been better, and some mons could have been worse, and the team would have been like better for it. And you're also just missing a lot of key roles, which is a bit unfortunate.
That's true, yeah.
I think the team can function. It's just going to be a little bit annoying to build with. At least I think, because you don't have that much tools to work with. That's about it for me, unless you guys have anything to add.
No, I'm good to move on.
Okay. Then at number 7 we have Mr. Alice Sabrina. This team is interesting. Round 1 Annihilate.
It's a little, yeah, I didn't love this team. I thought it was kind of a bit random. I don't like Latios, just in general.
I do not either.
No, Latios is bad. I will say the Annihilate is very well supported here, because you have good removal. That obviously Annihilate doesn't like T-spikes and all that stuff. You have Healing Wish, you have Screeds.
That wish is green.
You have something to punish physical attackers with Moltres, I guess. Actually, you have double Healing Wish with Shaman as well. Yeah, the Annihilate support's here. I just don't think you should be.
I don't know what the rest of the team
building,
is.
I feel like you've built the entire team to support one Pokemon.
Yeah.
Which isn't like you have Special offense wise, you have Latios and then I guess Jolteon, but Jolteon is really bad unless it terras, but if it terras, your Annihilate is going to be bad, so pick your poison. Moltres can be offensive, Diancie as well, but it's not great. I don't know, this is just a very weird, I don't even know if it's balanced necessarily, but it's just a weird team. It looks really
No, it's just like get Annihilate to take as many hits as possible, and then hope he wins. Fingers crossed.
I mean, I guess if you healing wish it twice every single game, it could work. But
yeah.
So I find you a fourth wall break a bit here.
I do like the Diancie here. I just think it's gonna. Diancie isn't amazing at setting hazards this gen. I think it likes being offensive with like Trick Room, Meteor Beam, all that stuff a lot more. So I don't like that it's the only real viable hazard setter on the team, because obviously you're never going to run rocks in your Annihilate, and Threads is going to be, well, it can run rocks, but it's also really pressured to spin here, so that's a lot of roles for it to fill on a single team. Yeah, Diancie's going to have to come like to a lot of games, which isn't always ideal. Your ice resist is Aloe, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah.
It's manageable, I think, but it's unfortunate. I think otherwise this team is okay. It fills all the other holes and roles. It's just weird.
Yeah, it looks fine. It just is a little bit really dependent on Ape, and I guess maybe Latios as well can, if it has a good matchup somehow, can win.
Latios
against the Orthworm team. She's kind of good.
Even then. No, I just think Latios is like it's got power crap to all hell, and it's just Dragon Psychic is not great this gen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how you do it. It reminds me a lot of Nozermat's team last season, and he did well. So.
There you go.
But that's Nozermat. You're not him.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's fucked up. I wouldn't stand for that.
I think I'm good to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Okay, at number 6 we have Simpleton, the only manual promotion of the league. Let it be known.
Is it?
Yeah. I like it. On the first glance, I think this team looks really nice. Every mon drafted is really good. I actually suggested the Colossal to him. He was like, what do I draft? I don't know what to get with my last four points. So just get a spiker, dude. Get Colossal.
Yeah, provide spikes.
Yeah, I like this team. I think this team is cool. It's got all the roles you want. It's got decent pivoting. Iron Hands is nice. Port with Dragapult.
I do like it. I see the biggest flaws I think are some of the are on the type chart, because utility and like role wise I think the team has everything it wants to have. Hydrapple's a really good Terra Captain, which can obviously patch those holes a little bit. It's just annoying because you didn't draft a fairy obviously, so Jirachi is all you have for dragons on the glance. Obviously you can run Terra, Fairy, Hydrapple. Ghosts matchups like Spectre are gonna be annoying because Mandibuzz is a pretty passive check into it, like it's weakness policy food. Fairy, your Fairy resists are actually fine, I think. It's just gonna be like a bit annoying some matchups because most of the Fairy resists are like, obviously Iron Moth isn't a great switch in, and then Colossal isn't coming, so it's mainly Jirachi again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the biggest flaw.
It could be, yeah, the match, the type chart's a little bit rough, but
I think
as you say, the roles and like the roles and everything. Yeah, fighting types are annoying as well because it's your two main like offensive. Yeah. But as you say, the roles and everything, it just looks nice. You see it.
For sure, yeah. And also round 6 Hydrapple is very good value when it was picked like round 1 or 2 in every single division, but the bottom one. Pseudo got it. Like,
everybody loves that. I don't think anybody drafted it in Paradox actually.
Surely he did.
Really?
Maybe I'm wrong.
I feel like it had to be drafted. No way that thing went undrafted. Oh well.
Anyway, yeah, it's still a good team. I like the team.
And with that said, let's move on to number 5. I don't think I've ever seen you this high before, man, but congratulations, Pock, you're number 5. You actually did well for once. Love you, buddy. But I can see why. The Deoxys, Golden Go, Samrock, Glimora, that's really all in on hazards. I like it. Got a good backs at the end as well. I think the Mons on the team are good. I don't love Serena and I don't love Ribbon-B, but obviously Ribbon-B makes sense with the gold. Yeah, I think this is a cool team. Just special offense is literally just Dio and gold, which is a bit unfortunate, but it should be okay.
I think you like this team a bit more than me, Blue.
I did.
I think for me the speed tiers. Obviously, you have Ribbon-B with gold, so it's not the end of the world if your speed tiers are a bit whatever. But they are kind of a bit bad. I don't love it, and you have D speed as well.
I think this is good.
So it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be a team where Webs comes like every week, because otherwise you have to rely on the Deoxys to revenge everything, which isn't amazing.
Well, I mean,
Scarf
you do have
Caplos,
a very good Scarfer, but I think I have an affinity for like hazard stack teams, and this is like the hazard stack team, so that's probably why I ranked it super high. I also think the physical offense on this team combined with the hazards makes it pretty much impossible to switch into, which I think is super cool. I think the main concerns on this team would be the special offense is kind of whatever, and the speed tiers are also questionable.
That's really surprises me as well, because I know Pock, and usually he's told me before that one of the most important things to him in drafting is speed tiers. So I'm surprised he drafted a team like this. Honestly, it feels like out of character.
That is,
almost.
Yeah.
But that's cool. It's cool that he's trying new stuff. It's high for a reason, right? Like, I think it's a good.
Yeah, I mean it is a good team. I think as you say, the physical offense is going to be brutal to switch into.
Yeah, and the specialist shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. Obviously, Blim, Gold, and Deoxys are good, but it's just not the best because they're almost like Glamora usually doesn't do much. Like it just switches in, maybe gets a kill and then dies. Gold is more of a defensive piece here, I think, and then Deoxys is like the main revenger.
Yeah.
I do love that well, I don't actually think Glamora is the best spiker, but you have Samurott for that, so I love that this draft opens up Deoxys a lot to be like an offensive beast every matchup and doesn't have to run like hazard lead sets or whatever. I mean, you can still do that, but I wouldn't personally. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you play Pock. It should be fine. Then let's move on to number 4, I suppose. J-Sauce.
Big J-Sauce.
J-Sauce, who's fallen another victim of the Iron Boulder propaganda.
I mean, I don't mind.
No, I like
much here.
No,
it's not the top speed. Like it
exactly.
Moves, yeah.
I like this team most like across the board. I think that it's very offensive focused, which is fine, you know, and I think you've got some good hazard support with Shox and Heatran. I think Shox is a good secondary Terra Cap here because if it has a really good matchup, that's cool, but you don't want to Terra it all the time.
I would have preferred to see the Keldeo Terra because I think Shox is going to be really forced into a hazard bot role here, which I feel like Keldeo would be a lot more would get a lot more use out of the Terra slot than Shandy Shox.
That's true.
That's fair.
Actually, I guess maybe not because your removal is Devox, so it can work. But still, if you want hazards up, it's gonna have to be Shox or Tran, I guess. But meh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just I think the team enables Boulder quite well. Basically, is what I liked about the team. It enables the top two to actually win games.
For sure, yeah. I like the D Knight round 7. That's kind of weird. How does that last so long? We saw like around 8 backs as well. People just
Rain
don't
led
like
backs,
dragons.
yeah. I don't know why. I think D Knight and backs are both really good.
I haven't used backs yet. I usually prefer Kieran, but yeah, it's just one of those mons that usually doesn't get drafted until late for some reason.
No.
I think the team looks
Weird.
fine. Yeah. I think the biggest flaw on the team is like the hazard control, because the removal and the setters aren't great. And then your poison obviously is Grafii.
Yeah,
He did bring it week 1, which surprised me, but and someone did try to T-spike him, but it failed because Grafii was there. So
Go,
that's cool.
Grafire. You bring it week 1, never again. Never
Yeah.
again. You just present that you will bring it, and that's it.
He just had to show aura.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it.
no,
I
it's
like it.
a decent team.
I think maybe my biggest worry would be like Spectrier for you. I think that it's going to be an annoying matchup. You have options with like Boulder or Scarf Darkrai, but it's still not going to be very fun to deal with, pretty much.
Yeah.
But you should be okay. Anything else to add?
No, I'm good.
I think Enam could potentially be scary if you let Heatran take like an Earth Power, but I don't know.
Heatran isn't an Enam champ.
That's-
It just isn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think Enam can be scary here, but not really
That's
much.
true.
can see
Not really
that,
much
yeah.
to add. I like this team.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, then let's move on to the big 3. Number 3 is Genesect, or Genesect, sorry. The
Big
Rising
Gen.
Phoenixes. Where is he at? Here he is.
Top right. Yeah. This is I like this team. I think it's a little bit avant-garde, might I say, because of Terra Spatra, who is not like used ever, pretty much. I don't know.
It's a new farmer, so I guess he thinks he can farm the division. I wouldn't draft it otherwise. It looks weird on this. I don't know. I just feel like it could have been like, you have Ceruledge, you have your Kyurem, which are already 2 really big offensive mons. I don't really think the Aspatra is needed. It could have been something better, but you know.
Yeah.
That's fine, I suppose. The biggest thing I noticed, like instantly, is that you're insta lose to Spectre, pretty much.
Yeah, Spectre does dice you up just entirely.
Should have drafted a normal instead of the Cutiefly, bro. I don't know what the Cutiefly is ever gonna do. It's not good, but you know.
Or the Rotom fan.
Rotom fan is like
Rotom
okay.
has some viability, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why it was drafted
It
here
has
specifically. Maybe because of the
value,
ground
but-
weakness. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
My big thing is I like the top 2 together. I think it's a very strong pairing and draft. I think Ceruledge is awesome, especially with screen support. It could allow it to win fairly easily. Kyurem is a fun wall breaker, and I think the hazards on this team are pretty solid. You've got Klefki and Meow for spikes.
Well, it's mainly Lando and Klefki that are going to be running hazards a lot, but it's okay. I do think that
For sure.
Tentacool was drafted a little early, maybe. I think it would have probably lasted until around 4 or 5, but you know. It's Paldax, I guess. If you want your removal that bad, go for it. It looks like
Yeah,
a
I mean,
fine
I think.
team.
Yeah.
You think, yeah?
What do you think? What have you been thinking?
Oh boy. I just think there's probably a few mons that are kind of out of place on this team, but it's fine. We've
That's
covered
fair.
the.
I think I just liked that there seems to be a bit of a game plan, a bit of
sure.
consistency to it.
Mhm.
Made my brain happy.
I think you could really elevate the team a lot more if you get rid of the Aspatra and the QT Fly, maybe the Rotom, and like change it up a bit. I mean, they can rock and go as well, right? But I think the other mons are good. They work well together, but you can do better, basically.
Yeah.
Because you are gonna win, right? That's what you said, right, Genesec?
He will. He'll just run Hydro Pump on. He'll just run Hydro Pump Tentacruel and he'll crit.
Oh yeah, just like that one time last season.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on to number 2, which is Big Bad Key. This is a team I like it a lot. It's a good Wellspring team, very well supported. I instantly see like why everything was drafted. Like, this is how I would draft myself. I like it. You have the Cinderace for the, like pivot, Metagross for rocks. Very good hazards actually.
Hold on one sec. What team are we on?
Key. The Wellspring one.
Alright.
Yeah, I think the biggest flaw I notice is that Cinderace's removal, which is a bit unfortunate, especially because you do have really good hazards. So if you can't really do anything about people hazard stacking you, which is again unfortunate because your main mon is Wellspring. Maybe like a spinner, like a cheap spinner would have been nice here. I expect like you went all in on hazards too, like because you drafted a Rotom. So clearly you're planning to hazard stack. So maybe you could look for if there's like spinner or defogger left, probably spinner. Try to add that on. But like I said, I like you drafted everything for a reason. You got your top speed guy, but Wellspring, which is very important. You got Healing Wish, you got Rocks, you got Ground Steel, whatever the fuck. You got everything. I think this is a very good draft, and it's gonna succeed for sure.
Yeah, I think it's gonna cook. This was really impressed me, and it just looks good. You know when you see a team, and you're like, I fuck with that team. That's a nice ass team.
That's literally what I said when I opened it. Like, oh, this is good. I would draft this.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, just because I think it needs to be said, because I said it, and I think every PR I've done where this one was present, I despise ENMT here.
Why?
Why in particular here?
I just think it's bad. I think it's too slow to do anything. I think also being weak to rocks sucks, especially on a team like this when you don't.
Yeah, it's fine. Enamorous really doesn't mind running roots.
I think it's fine here because I think that the Moonblast is quite valuable, and I think that Healing Wish is going to be very important because, like you say, the Wellspring being hazard weak and not having a way to deal with hazards really is probably going to be pretty crucial to Wellspring doing stuff. I understand why you dislike Enamorous, to be clear, but I think that it's completely fine here.
I don't love Enamorous myself either, but it's like it was drafted. Like I 100% understand why it was drafted here. Like, not only is it the strongest special breaker on the team, which is obviously important to have, but it's also like at this point he only had one ground resist, which is Latias, so he needed another. Obviously he still needed a fairy. Healing Wish, double Healing Wish is just really nice on a team like this, so I 100% understand the pick. It's just like I think a lot of people don't like Enam because when they draft it, they expect it to be like a bulky fairy, but it's not at all meant to be used that way.
Yeah.
It should be okay.
I think it'll be fine.
So, no. On the Caxi, right?
Oh yeah, let's move on to number 1. Big Caxi, my go. This is like literally the team I wanted but didn't get. I literally fuck with every mon on the team so much, aside
this
from
is so
Rotom.
fucked up for you.
Literally.
Yeah.
Funny.
This is
This is
literally
really
the
good.
team I wanted, man, and then you just got it. I don't know why you picked a Rotom, aside from like maybe type chart, but yeah, this is a very, very good team. You should do super well with it.
It's just got everything, right? It's got good
Yeah.
spikes. It's got a decent spinner. It's a little annoying when Blastoise is your only spinner because it limits it being able to run Shell Smash, but it's, yeah, again, that's a nitpick. Crown is a really good Terra Captain. I think Crown is really good.
I wish there was a secondary though. I will say that. I don't like that it's
Yeah.
only Terra Captain because, I would have Terra the Lando here, I think, as well. If I were you, or maybe like the Blastoise, but I think Lando is a better captain than Blastoise, like a secondary.
Probably, yeah.
It's also your only rocker, which I don't love because Lando doesn't love running rocks necessarily. It can, but it's not great.
Yeah.
Spikes are
It's a
good.
bit annoying.
What else is there? Speed tiers are fine. Yeah, it's just honestly, there's not much wrong with it.
Ghost type matchup could be a little bit annoying. Spec could be,
Yeah, I mean,
a
even
bit annoying.
even
but
into Spectre,
it's-
you might have to. I wouldn't love to, but you can run like Terra normal Crown, which is okay.
yeah.
What else? Yeah, I think it's just a very good team. I don't love Rotom Heat, like I said, but I understand why it's here. It's like the flying resist, the ground, one of the ground resists. It makes sense.
Does.
Just don't love the Pokemon.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a whatever Pokemon, but it's a good team. It's a really good team. And I know brother can cook, so
Very well done. And he came to me on round 4 and he asked me what should I get, and I said Kilowatt. No, I said Landers.
and I said Bramblegar.
No, he actually did, and I was like, just get Lando. It's the best
Yeah.
ground left, and then he did it. Very nice.
I think half the teams in this league were helped by you, to be honest.
Honestly, yeah, but not so much. I only influenced the Lando on this one. I think you are for sure making playoffs, and I hope you promote again, my friend. This team is like too good not to.
Yeah, it is really good.
And with that, I think we are good to finish things off here. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy the season. Peace.